Today they are repeating us and telling us that you can do plusvalenza, you can do profit on the value of a player, but what you can't do is talk about it on the phone or writing it on a sheet of paper, because that sheet of paper will be called in the notes of the court the Black Book of FB. FB, Fabio Paratici. This is the recap of 36 pages of motivations why Juventus has been taking away 15 points, why Juventus has been punished. We waited 10 days so that they could tell us that the 15 points taken away from Juventus was for breaking a law that doesn't even exist. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. We have to go through the 36 pages, not all of them, calma, calma, calma. I read them, I tried to understand it, I was waiting also for the answer of Juventus, and this is really important, the answer of Juventus. That's why I'm a bit late with the video, but I wanted to give you a complete information, because yes, I already anticipate for the people that can't wait, Juventus said it already, and they repeat it today. They want and they will fight back, because a lot of things are absolutely illogical. 36 pages to explain us what we already knew, because Juventus has not been punished for doing plusvalenza, profit on value of a player. No, because there is no law about it. Why has Juventus been punished? Why has Juventus been taken away 15 points? Let's go through it and let's try to understand, because federal court is explaining in the 36 pages that Juventus has committed a serious, repeated and prolonged illicit. Illicit is a word that we have to keep in mind. The new documents are proving the intentionality of Juventus. Juventus, they had bad behavior. They wanted to do it. They were aware of doing bad things. Unequivocal interceptions, the calls, and evidences, the papers, relating to interventions to hide documents. They are saying that Juventus tried to hide the documents or even manipulate invoices that were leaked apparently by fan page. They're speaking about an invoice of Marseille for a swap between players, Ake to us from Marseille, a player from Juventus to Marseille with the same amount, 8 million euros. That was absolutely not changed. It was the address, for example, of Juventus, because Marseille was using the old address of Juventus office. They changed it. They also changed the word compensation. Anyway, apparently it's an evidence that Juventus wanted manually in 2022, 2021, whatever. They wanted to do manually things that you are doing on computers. Anyway, they continue to speak about the other teams. Why were the other teams not punished? Because there were other teams that were doing also plusvalenza. Well, apparently there is no specific demonstrative evidence to effectively support the accusation against the company Sampdoria, Vercelli, Genoa, Parma, Pisa, Empoli, Novara and Pescara. There are no phone calls. There are no lead calls, because nobody was asking them to pay attention to them. Nobody was asking to investigate, listening to their phone calls. The documentation of the Turin prosecutor's office does not directly involve those companies. So apparently today we learn again that Juventus, they were doing plusvalenza, swaps of players with other values, or alone, apparently, or with other teams, but only because Juventus wanted to benefit from it. Well, if you are going to the 36 pages, the first part that they are explaining is why they reopened the case, because they had new evidences, and so on and so on and so on. Well, why is Juventus punished? Not because of plusvalenza, but because the Article 4. Again, the Article 4. Always the Article 4. I will explain you what Article 4 is. Article 4 concerns the principle of loyalty. So apparently Juventus was not loyal. They were not fair in doing it. Article 4 in the sporting justice of Italy is a bit the Swiss knife. The Swiss knife, because you can put everything there. Whatever. If you don't know, if you really want to punish someone, whatever you want to put there, put it in Article 4. Because then you know that you were not fair, you can be punished. With the benefits of plusvalenza, Juventus could go on the market and so alternating the league. Well, that's what they are saying. They are saying that Juventus, because they were not fair, because it was intentional to do this plusvalenza, they did profit, and with that money, they went on the mercato, they signed new players, they sold other players, they took some cash in to sign new players, and that's why they alternated the league. This is what they are explaining. This is why Juventus has been punished. They try to demonstrate that the Plusvalenza were fictive. The court gives a value of confession to the phone tapping. They are saying that these phone calls, intercepted phone calls, are an evidence, which is a mistake. Because phone calls, intercepted phone calls, can't be an evidence in law. They are there as a tool to support and to show an evidence. They are there as a support, but they can't be the evidence, especially because these phone calls, what we heard, were parts of total conversation. So if you want to use them, they have to be listened to, you have to speak about it, you have to explain why, which has absolutely not been done. So what they are doing is actually taking the phone calls and saying, here, you actually show that you had bad intentions of the Plusvalenza because due to these profit values, you are actually alternating your books. The court is highlighting Plusvalenza made with Marseille and Barcelona. Why? Because the Italian court, they can't sue other clubs from other countries. They can't. They can sue clubs from Italy, but not from the other one. And that's why they are highlighting Marseille and Barcelona, because they know that in that case, because they can't sue them, the only bad club is Juventus. Why only Juventus? Well, apparently because the other club, they had no phone calls, they had no mail, they had no paper to show that Plusvalenza were fictive. So what we hear from them is Juventus has been punished for Article 4. Because of some phone calls and a sheet of paper where there was written an X instead of a name, that's why Juventus has been punished. Because they were not loyal, because they had bad intention. Not because of Plusvalenza, apparently. Juventus waited a bit. In the evening, they reported their answer. They said it is a document predictable in terms of content. They knew it, I told you. I could already identify why they would have punished us. They knew that they would have used Article 4 of the Sporting Justice. And they are saying it was predictable in terms of content. In terms of the heavy decision, because it's a heavy decision, 15 points, but vitiated by obvious illogicalities. They are saying it's obvious that it's illogical. It is not correct what you are reporting. Motivational deficiencies. They are saying that there are problems in the motivations that they are writing and unfounded in terms of law. They are also saying, Juventus, it's absolutely not okay according to law. Everything that I explained you, that was absolutely not matching in the explanation of Giuseppe Chiné. That's what they are saying, which the company and individuals will oppose with an appeal to the guarantee board at CONI within the set deadlines. The validity of Juventus' reason will be asserted firmly, albeit with all the respect, of course. Guys, this is what Juventus answered quite firmly. Juventus is finding back. They are saying what you are writing, what you are giving us as motivations are absolutely not according to the law. It is BS. It is BS. We don't accept it and we will fight back because it's not okay. So, repeating and doing a small recap in a few words. Disloyalty, Article 4, that's why we were punished. The evidences, phone calls, leaked calls, intercepted calls, whatever you want to call them. And that sheet of paper that can't be used as the evidence. And then, apparently, we were falsing the league. That's why Juventus was punished. What is the answer of Juventus? They are saying BS, we will fight back. And this is what I expect. Guys, we will speak about it with more details if you want to in a live. Today, not because I will be live on the Juventus Twitch channel where we will speak, unfortunately, about the loss of yesterday versus Monza. 3 points that were done because we played really bad, because of the choices of Max Allegri, but speaking a bit with other people also because in the head of the players, it's really hard to play with a minus 15 points. Maybe we will receive back these 15 points that they took away temporarily. Maybe yes. What we will never receive back is the freedom of trying to play versus Monza in our home. it is what it is. Grazie, forza, Juve.